Florida State is looking to make some huge changes to Doak Campbell Stadium as the Board of Trustees met this Friday to discuss taking on $285 million to add some major upgrades to the stadium and, in theory, a better overall experience for the fans. Some of these changes include new Champions Club seating, upgrades to some outdated parts of the stadium, and new suites and lounges. They're also discussing changing up the bleacher-style stands and replacing them with breathable mesh seats that have backs, finally. And probably the biggest proposal in changing them all, they're considering adding some sort of roof structure to the stadium as well. So what does all this mean? For starters, between the stadium proposals and the $100 million football-only facility that Florida State broke ground on back in December, it means that FSU is finally looking to spend the right kind of money to keep up with the sport. For a while, it just seemed like the stubbornness of whoever was in charge previously was just going to kind of lead Florida State getting left in the dust. For context of what I'm saying, Florida State ranks 8th, just in the ACC, in terms of money spent on their stadium in the last 20 years, which is nuts. We're also seeing this in other aspects of the program, such as NIL, extending head coach Mike Norvell's contract, and even in the way of offered aggressiveness towards getting out of the ACC. That way, they start making some more money every year to help foot the bill for all these new changes and improvements. It's nice to finally see Florida State's boosters and collectives trust in the staff and program so much to get on board with spending this kind of money. Now, as far as stadium renovations go, I'm sure most of you have attended a game at Doak Campbell Stadium, and one thing I've always hated was the bleacher-style seating. It seems like with that, you also have incredibly narrow pathways to get to your technical seat, and even when you do, there's very little leg room and no back support. The metal also gets super hot when it's sunny outside. Now, we tough it out because as fans, we love our team, but the idea of some more comfortable seating with more leg room and chairbacks does sound incredibly appealing. Hey guys, real quick, just wanted to take a second and ask if you're enjoying the content. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot. Now let's get back to it. Now, of course, this kind of thing always comes with its drawbacks. For one, this is going to be a project that takes multiple years to complete. So this does mean that there's going to be some interruptions during the seasons, whether we like it or not. Essentially, the whole west stands are going to have to come down temporarily, and that's going to result in about 27,000 seats being removed for the time being. Now, they're going to add about 16,000 seats back once it's all said and done, but that still leaves a permanent decrease in seating, which, of course, it makes sense. You know, if you're putting in seats that take up more space, you're obviously not going to be able to fit as many in. So some fans are worried that this is going to send ticket prices through the roof. And in all honesty, it probably will raise ticket prices a little bit. I think the idea is to have a more luxurious experience when attending FSU games. Now, I don't think it'll be some crazy difference that'll price anyone out of being able to go. I'm no expert in how all this works, but I'm sure there will still be plenty of reasonably priced tickets to go around. It's just like with anything else, there's a little bit of a give and take with it. Now, onto the roof situation. They polled some fans about some new things they'd like to see done to the stadium, and it sounds like about 41% of fans are interested in putting some sort of roof structure over Doak Campbell Stadium. Now, we do have a rendering, and it almost looks similar to an NFL stadium, kind of like the Dallas Cowboy Stadium or something like that. And if you remember, back in December when FSU broke ground on the Albert Dunlap football facilities, again, it's a $100 million, 150,000 square foot facility. He was interviewed after the ceremony and mentioned how they had went kind of the NFL route with it and wanted it to all be state of the art. So this included him flying to like the Dallas Cowboy Stadium multiple times, where he also used to work for the Dallas Cowboys organization as a senior director of corporate partnerships and sales. So with all that being said, it's not too shocking to see his NFL inspiration making his way into Doak Campbell Stadium for these new improvements. Now I'm torn on this, as it kind of seems most fans are. On one hand, it's hot in Florida, especially in late August, early September, and even really into October, it stays pretty hot. And if you're on the wrong side of that stadium at the wrong time of day, the sun will cook you and blind you. I actually have a picture from the Wake Forest game last year, which was a 3:30 kickoff, and you can see my face is all sunburnt and I'm squinting in the sunlight. Now, I also went to the Duquesne game last year where it rained for like an hour, completely soaked me. So I do understand the appeal of a roof, but at the same time, I almost feel like it kind of takes away from the experience somehow. Weather is almost a part of football, and I definitely don't want to turn, watching FSU football into an artificial experience. I wish there was kind of a way to create a permanent night game environment almost. Clear skies, not too hot, all the lights and stuff. It's perfect, which is why I'm actually headed to the Southern Miss game for the 8:30 kickoff. I wish there was almost a way to try a few games with the roof, and we don't like it, we can just tell them to take it back. So if I had to pick now, I'd say maybe don't go with the roof. I would say maybe if you're kind of looking to spend that type of money to invest it back, maybe upgrade the Wi-Fi in the stadium, make sure you don't run out of waters, things like that. But definitely, I think the seating is priority number one, if you ask me. All that being said, I highly doubt they follow through on this roof situation anyway, but it's at least interesting, and apparently 41% of fans want something in that manner to be instituted. Outside of the roof, though, I do think it's time Florida State definitely makes some investments and improvements, especially in the seating department again. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that. And again, it's just nice to see this kind of money being thrown around in Tallahassee. What do you guys think of all this, though? Do you want them to leave it the way it is? Do you want them to approve a full roof system and go full NFL style? Let me know in the comments, and let's talk Noles.